You want the badge, not the work. Not really. You want the badge on LinkedIn, the logo in your bio, the little blue chip stamp that tells strangers you made it into the machine everyone worships. FAANG, big tech, the white-collar promised land, free food, giant campuses, stock grants, nap pods, smiling recruiters with shark eyes. From the outside, it looks like winning. From the inside, it feels like renting your nervous system to a corporation that updates your worth every 6 months. This is your life as every FAANG rank, and the first thing you learn is simple. Every promotion is a prettier cage. Level 1, the intern, you are cheap optimism in human form. You fly into Silicon Valley for 12 weeks and pretend it is a meritocracy. The housing is obscene. The offices smell like money and cold brew. Everywhere you look, someone is 10 years older than you and already dead behind the eyes. You are not here to learn. You are here to audition. Every smile is a stress test. Every coffee chat is a background check. Every tiny task is bait. Can you code fast enough? Can you shut up in meetings? Can you perform ambition without looking desperate? Your compensation looks insane to normal people. Maybe $8,000 a month. Maybe more if housing is covered. At 20 years old, it feels like you robbed a bank. But the real currency is the return offer. That is the first drug, not cash. Validation. You work nights to polish demos nobody will remember. You pretend the mentor who ignores you is just busy. You laugh at jokes that sound like PowerPoint. You treat every Slack notification like it contains your future. The toll is subtle. You stop sleeping properly. You start narrating yourself from the outside. Every mistake feels permanent. You are not building a product. You are building a case for why you deserve to exist here. The illusion is that this is the hard part. It isn't. This is the honeymoon brochure. Level 2, the entry-level engineer, L3/ICT2/E3. You got the offer. The logo is yours now. Your parents are proud. Old classmates stalk your profile in silence. Recruiters from weaker companies start circling like flies around fresh meat, and you are terrified because now the company owns proof. Proof that you were good enough to get in, which means if you fail now, the failure becomes personal. You cannot blame the gate anymore. You are inside it. Your total compensation can look absurd on paper. Maybe $180,000. Maybe $220,000 in a good market. Salary, bonus, stock. Enough to feel rich anywhere normal. But you do not live anywhere normal. Rent eats you. Taxes skin you. And the rest gets converted into status maintenance. Better apartment, better headphones, better gym, better life theater. You are paid just enough to make your dependents feel elegant. Your day-to-day reality is not glamorous. You fix edge cases, clean up rotten code, write documentation nobody reads. Get tickets dumped on you by people who introduce it as good exposure, which is corporate slang for unpaid suffering. You are told to take ownership. That means the mistakes are yours. The roadmap is not. The toll is confusion. You spend half your week trying to understand systems built by ghosts who already transferred, quit, or got promoted for leaving you the mess. You stare at dashboards like a priest studying bad omens. You learn that intelligence is not enough. You need politics, timing, packaging. The illusion is that if you just keep your head down and do great work, the system will notice. It notices. It just does not care as much as you think. Level 3, the mid-level engineer, L4/E4/SDE2. Now you are useful, not important, useful. This is the rank where the machine stops introducing itself and starts feeding on you properly. You are expected to deliver without supervision, mentor interns without compensation, and carry projects that are too messy for seniors and too dangerous for juniors. Compensation jumps. Maybe $250,000 to $350,000 total comp if the stock is behaving. It sounds like elite money. It is really hazard pay for cognitive erosion. At this level, your life becomes a permanent low-grade emergency. You are in enough meetings to lose focus, but not enough influence to prevent stupid decisions. Product wants speed. Legal wants caution. Infra wants compromises. Leadership wants numbers they can parade upstairs. And somehow you are supposed to make all of this look clean. You start living in trade-offs. Ship fast and risk outages. Build properly and miss deadlines. Speak honestly and sound negative. Stay quiet and become furniture. The psychological toll is worse than the workload because now you can see the game. You understand that many promotions are won not by the best builders, but by the best narrators. The people who turn group effort into personal mythology. The people who attach themselves to visible fires and then call themselves heroes for holding a hose. You begin to split in two. One version of you does the work. The other version markets the first one. That split never heals. The illusion is that seniority will finally buy freedom. It buys visibility, which is more dangerous. Level 4, the senior engineer, L5/E5/senior SDE. This is the butcher's rank. Not because you kill people, because this is where the company learns exactly how much of your soul it can carve off while still keeping you productive. You are now the adult in the room. New hires lean on you. Managers depend on you. Projects begin with your estimates and end with your reputation. When things work, leadership says, "Great teamwork." When things fail, your name appears in side-channel postmortems like a bloodstain nobody wants to acknowledge. Compensation can range from $350,000 to $500,000 or more. Now the numbers become anesthetic. They are too large to feel real and too conditional to trust. Much of it sits in stock, vesting over time like a financial ankle monitor. Golden handcuffs are still handcuffs, just polished. Your day-to-day becomes strategic misery. You are no longer judged just on output. You are judged on leverage, scope, cross-functional influence, architectural vision. Your work must now be technically solid and politically legible. It is not enough to solve the problem. You must solve it in a way that flatters the org chart. The toll is that your calendar starts eating your craft. Fewer hours building, more hours aligning, reviewing, negotiating, soft selling. You used to get tired from solving hard problems. Now you get tired from translating them into language executives can digest without choking. And outside work, your body starts collecting the debt. Jaw clenched in your sleep, eyes fried from screens, weekend dread arriving early Friday afternoon like a tax notice from hell. The illusion is that you are finally secure. You are not secure. You are just expensive. Level 5, the staff engineer, L6/E6/principal adjacent. Now you stop owning tasks. You own ambiguity. This is where careers go to either explode upward or quietly rot in place. Staff is where the company pretends to reward technical excellence while actually testing your appetite for invisible political labor. You are dropped onto vague, high-impact, low-clarity disasters. Drive alignment, unblock execution, shape the roadmap. Beautiful phrases, meaningless and lethal. Compensation can hit $500,000 to $800,000 depending on the company, the market, the stock cycle, and how much of your future you have agreed to leave trapped in vesting schedules. To outsiders, you look bulletproof. Inside, you feel like a human rooter processing other people's chaos. Your daily reality is not coding, it is arbitration, convincing 3 teams with conflicting incentives to move in one direction. reading executive moods like weather patterns, sensing reorgs before they are announced, attaching your name to bets big enough to matter, but not so big they detonate on impact. One failed initiative can stain you for years. One successful one gets memory holed into company momentum. The toll is identity decay. You no longer know whether your value comes from insight or stamina. You become fluent in all the little humiliations of senior corporate life. The meeting before the meeting, the document that matters more than the product, the headcount battle disguised as strategy. The illusion is that you are close to the top. You are not close. You are a better paid floor between the basement and the penthouse. Level 6, the senior staff/principal engineer. Now you are operating at the altitude where oxygen gets thin and everyone lies in complete sentences. Your compensation can stretch from $700,000 to well over $1 million in strong years, mostly because the stock grant is trying to keep you from noticing what the role really is. You are no longer solving problems. You are deciding which problems deserve to exist. You influence org design, technical direction, multi-year bets. You are in rooms where products are born, mutilated, or quietly buried. You hear leaders say users first while budgeting for optics. You watch roadmaps get bent around executive ego, not customer pain. This level looks like power. It is curated power. You can recommend. You can persuade. You can build coalitions. But actual control still belongs to budgets, VPs, and the kind of polished predator who can say hard choices when they mean cut people who trusted us. The psychological toll is paranoia. The better known you become, the less honest feedback you receive. People stop disagreeing cleanly. They smile, nod, and build resistance underground. You are now managing not just systems, but shadows, perception, reputation, threat. And because you are one of the few, every miss is memorable. At this altitude, failure echoes. The illusion is that excellence protects you. Excellence just makes you more visible when the knives come out. Level 7, the engineering manager. Here is the first great betrayal of corporate life. You thought management was a promotion. Sometimes it is. Often it is a hostage situation with better slides. Your compensation might mirror senior engineers at first, maybe $300,000 to $500,000, then higher as you move up. But the money comes with a new tax. You are now accountable for things you cannot directly control. Your team misses. Your fault. A strong engineer quits. Your fault. Leadership changes direction every quarter and morale collapses. Somehow, still your fault. Your day is no longer work. It is emotional sanitation. You absorb panic from above, frustration from below, and nonsense from sideways. You conduct performance reviews that pretend to be objective while everyone already knows the budget decided half the outcome. You coach people through burnout while quietly marinating in your own. The toll is moral corrosion. You start the job wanting to protect your people. Then headcount gets cut. Ratings get forced. Promotions get denied because the bar has changed. Suddenly, you are translating institutional greed into motivational language. You become the human face of a spreadsheet. The illusion is that managers have authority. Most managers have theater. Real authority starts several layers above, where empathy is a rounding error. Level 8, the director/VP layer. Now you are in the revenue cathedral. Compensation can swing from $700,000 to several million in top firms, depending on scope and stock. This is where wealth stops being salary and starts being capitalization. You are no longer paid for labor. You are paid to keep the machine coherent enough to extract more from everyone underneath you. Your daily life is war in a blazer, org politics, resource fights, executive narratives. You are balancing headcount, strategic bets, public optics, legal risk, and the fragile egos of people who can end careers with a sentence softened by a smile. You call it leadership. A lot of the time, it is just well-dressed fear. The toll is isolation. You cannot be fully honest with your team because you represent the company. You cannot be fully honest with peers because they are competitors with LinkedIn pages. You cannot be fully honest with yourself because the compensation package keeps sedating every ethical nerve ending. This is also where you see the truth most clearly. The company is not a family. It is an empire with branding guidelines, and every rank below you is fuel. The illusion is that the top is peaceful. It is not peaceful. It is just quieter, richer, and more paranoid. Level 9, the top 1%, SVP, C-suite, the people who never swipe a badge. Twice. This is the apex predator tier. The compensation is grotesque, millions a year, stock that compounds into houses, foundations, private schools, and a level of insulation normal employees will never touch. At this level, one quarter can change your net worth more than an engineer's lifetime savings. You control narratives, not details. You decide which products live, which teams are gutted, which failures get buried under reorgs and new slogans. You talk about innovation while lawyers trail behind you like undertakers. You preach mission while optimizing margins. You reduce human exhaustion into charts simple enough for investors to clap at. From down below, you look untouchable. From up here, you are hunted by different animals. Boards, regulators, activist investors, rival executives, public scandals, the market itself. You do not fear deadlines anymore. You fear exposure. Because once you reach this level, the real secret finally becomes obvious. Nobody's in control. Not fully. The interns are auditioning. The juniors are drowning. The seniors are bleeding quietly. The staff engineers are stitching together empires they do not own. Managers are sedating teams with optimism they no longer believe. Directors are selling strategy in a building made of incentives. And the executives at the top are surfing a tidal wave of money and panic, pretending the boardroom is a throne instead of a trap. That is your life as every FAANG rank. A vertical food chain made of prestige, sleep debt, and deferred collapse. Every level sells the next one like salvation. Every level discovers it is just another room in the same casino. The snacks get better, the leash gets tighter, and the cruelest part? A lot of you still want in. Because modern ambition is not about freedom. It is about finding a cage expensive enough to impress people. Now you step back out of the story. Some of this is exaggerated for the ride. Some of it is not exaggerated nearly enough. That is the fun part about harsh reality. It usually sounds like fiction until you live inside it. So tell me in the comments, which FAANG rank do you think is the most miserable? The intern, the senior engineer, the manager, or the executive at the top? And subscribe if you want more stories where the glamour gets stripped off and the teeth underneath finally show.